And finally, the guy just won't stay out of the news. Our former Chicago mayor, Rahm Emanuel, got booked for another damn interview this week.
Oh, no, Rahm. Say it ain't so.
Oh, my God. Now, let's see if we can list all the interviews this guy has done this year. We got Bill Maher, The View, CNN, Stephen Colbert, I believe.
No. Was he on Colbert?
I can't.
Johnny Stewart.
I think he was on Colbert. Maybe Jon Stewart. I'm not sure. There's much more I'm sure we're forgetting at this point. Yeah. The point of all this is that this guy is everywhere right now. Yeah. Makes sense, though, because rumor has it, just like our Illinois governor, former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel is thinking about running for president as well. Good God. All right. So to the latest Rahm Emanuel interview. This one was with former Fox News and former NBC host, now podcast host, Megyn Kelly. Ben, before we go any further, what's your thoughts on Megyn Kelly?
She's not bad. I mean, I don't like her politics, but she's a pretty tough bulldog interviewer. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen her interview a MAGA person, so I don't know if she's that tough on everybody. But she was doing those quick questions to Rahm about trans, and he was like trying to duck and dodge with everything that he gets away with Chicago journalists. And she wasn't having any of it. So I kind of appreciated that. I wish he had stood up for trans people, but that's not where Rahm's at.
That's not happening on the Megyn Kelly show.
That's not Rahm's where he's at. Sorry, guys. Got to throw you under the bus. So she did a good job. I thought she did a good job.
All right. Well, he's, so far in the past has provided excellent political wisdom on these programs. Let us recall.
So here's what I think. Democrats love to fall in love. Republicans fall in line.
And of course,
look, in 7th grade, if I known that I could have said the word they and got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it.
Oh, God, Bill Maher, you're so pathetic. God.
All right, so let's hear this Rahm Emanuel interview on the Megyn Kelly show. As you were saying, Megyn Kelly held back no punches here. She even brought up the Laquan McDonald video.
Let me just tell the audience what that is. So when Rahm was mayor of Chicago, there was an officer involved shooting of a black man named Laquan McDonald.
Young man, yeah.
And there was a tape of the incident that was kept quiet, kept not accessible by the public by a decision by you for a year. And then ultimately, you can correct me when I'm done.
Yeah.
And then ultimately you released it, and it did show that the officer was to blame and that he shot when he shouldn't have. And then there was an immediate drop in polling in support of you by especially the Black and Hispanic communities in Chicago. And some have never forgiven you for not releasing the tape earlier. You can correct me.
As you're a lawyer, you know what the rules are as it relates in the middle of an investigation. So one, let me go all the way to the back. Laquan's uncle is a pastor on the West Side, big supporter of mine. And there's not a day or a week that goes by that I don't rethink what ifs. And you don't get a do-over in politics. You only get lessons learned applied forward. And I had thought I had fixed the system beforehand, and clearly the problems are much deeper. And I own that. That's why, and I take responsibility for that. And responsibility not only to fix it, but to also get the city in a better place. There's 7 attempts at police reform before I got there. This one is finally sticking. And the other thing is, Joe Ferguson, the inspector general, went through it, said I followed. The problem was I did follow the procedures. That's the problem, is they were put in place, and you have kind of two tensions. On one side, if you got the FBI, the U.S. attorney investigating, cities investigating, state is investigating. If you unilaterally make a decision, you hamper a criminal investigation. That officer served 3 years. If you don't do it, you only drive the wedge between the police and the community even further. And so you're caught between this Solomon-like choice. Either one you break the law, the other one.
What I hear is you think it's explainable. You think this is not a deal breaker for you and Democrat primary voters.
Look, I have the responsibilities I did when I got Senate confirmed for Ambassador to Japan. I will explain it. I own it. And if you're looking for 100%, nobody is, but I learned my lessons going forward.
Wow, what BS? Learn my lessons going forward, but there was nothing I could do. It's either there was nothing you could do differently than what you did, because that would be breaking the law, or there was something wrong that you did, and you've subsequently, upon reflection, have realized what it is. You've learned your lesson going forward. So what did you do wrong? Oh, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just following the law. I don't know, man. That's so much BS there, D. Like, are you kidding me? Dude, let me remind you folks, the murder occurred, I believe, in October of 2014. The tape was finally released in 2015, over a year later. So what, you guys knew what was on the tape. You knew the tape showed that this police officer drove up and just shot Laquan McDonald down. You knew what it showed. What were you still investigating a year into it? I don't think it was much of an investigation, guys. I think it was what? Burying the evidence? Where's Alex Jones when I need him? Where's the outrage? They were just hoping it would just disappear. And they say, oh, we're still investigating. A year into it? And by the way, D, here's the rich part. To quote, what's that dude's name? Ryan Spain? No, Tony McComey. Here's the rich part about it all. Right after the video was released at a judge's order, guess what, D? The investigation. Oh, that summed it up. As soon as the public saw the video, the investigation stopped and they began proceedings to charge the officer. So they could have charged him at any time. They could have charged him in November of 2014 or December of 2014, but they didn't. They paid off the family, gave $5 million to shut him up, and then they buried it. And it was only a bunch of outsiders who went to court filing a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, and they found a judge in Cook County. I don't know how this guy's got guts. Totally changed the climate in Chicago politics and Cook County politics. Ordered them to release the video, and now he's sitting there like he didn't actually shed a crocodile tear, but his voice always drops. It's like all serious. Like, all I do is reflect upon this every day, folks. Let me ask you this seriously. You all know how Rahm operates. Do you think Rahm Emanuel spends 1 minute of his day thinking about this? I doubt it. Because if he did care about what was on that videotape, he would have released it immediately. And this is the other thing about Chicagoans, man. They always like, well, Ben, he wouldn't have been reelected. Are you kidding? He would have been a champion of criminal justice reform. He didn't do a damn thing on the issue of criminal justice when he was mayor. He didn't do a damn thing on the issue of police brutality that goes back in this city for as long as I can remember. And now he's doing this little dog and pony show where he gets all serious and he goes, well, I thought I had fixed the problem, but I guess I didn't. So I've learned my lessons and I will never do that again, except I had no choice but to do what I do. Okay. Well, please help me out on that one. So thank you, Megyn Kelly, for raising the question. Rahm, I do believe voters will hold that against him once again in a Democratic primary. To get to be elected, to get to be president, he has to be the Democrats' nominee. And I do believe the Democratic voters will hold that against him.
And how about that? Like, hey, you can correct me when I'm finished. You can correct me when I'm finished. You remember that? Megyn Kelly, she was telling that to Rahm.
And by the way, there was no correction because she got it right. You notice there was no correction?
He was trying to get in there to stop her from talking, though. You can correct me.
And see, if it was a Chicago reporter, oh, yeah, Mr. Mayor, what do you say? But I got to give Megyn Kelly credit.
Listen, douchebag. All right. Here's a question that, I think it's a great one. Why did Rahm Emanuel agree to be interviewed by Megyn Kelly?
A lot of Democrats won't come on the show because they don't want to talk to somebody like me. So why would you?
Well, I mean, you kind of started it because you've brought me up before, and I thought, well, if you're going to bring me up a couple of times, I'll come on the show. Since my favorite subject is me, I thought I'd do that. No, but to talk about things, and you say from Team Blue, which is fair. I get that, but I think you would agree. And I think your listeners would. There's Team USA before there's Team Blue and Team Red.
I know. We see everything through the political lens.
Yeah,
just because that's what we do.
So
every
that's
day.
why, and people have opinions. I'm going to talk about what I think, and also, kind of just rip the mask off.
Well, I think he's going on Megyn Kelly's show because this is all part of positioning himself as a man who could appeal to non-lefty voters. Now, let's see, D, what lefty political show, not the Ben Joravsky show, but some other lefty political show will you never see Rahm go on? I'm just trying to think. I don't really know lefty political shows. I only know the Ben Joravsky show. But he's not, I don't know. Is he going to go on, the Young Turks? Is he going to go on the Young Turks, D? I don't know. Is he, he did go on Jon Stewart, got a bunch of softball questions from Jon Stewart, which was pretty sad. I don't think he'll go on a lefty show. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to go on the Brandon Johnson show. Remember when Brandon Johnson had his show, D? On what was the name of that station?
Yeah.
I forget the name of the station.
I remember it.
Yeah. So he's not going to go on a lefty show, but that's his part of his appeal. Megyn Kelly, you're a key part of him trying to show it, quote unquote, independence and some MAGA folks that he's the kind of Democrat they could vote for.
Okay.
Again, I think he's putting that cart before the horse because he's got to get the Democratic nomination, but whatever. Anyway, go ahead, D.
We got more here. Here is Mayor Rahm. Well, they're talking about Mayor Rahm, why he could be the Dem nominee.
I think this is actually to your advantage in capturing this nomination, because I think the country likes a strong man, even though we were kind of pretending we didn't for a while. Yeah. And I think Democrats are in need of a strong man. I mean, I think too many in the party have gone along with the no, we have to be, everyone's toxically masculine and we have to overcorrect the other way. And they keep putting out.
I don't know the words to Kumbaya. So here's my thing is, one is when having worked for both President Clinton and President Obama, there are three qualities of president and a presidential candidate have to project: strength, confidence, and optimism. Nobody, if you look at history, Kennedy versus Nixon, just go through it. We never nominate the weaker or the more indecisive or the less optimistic, just full blown. Second, and then that's on a comparative basis. And second, winning is important. And I do think there's a currency in our party, and this is my theory of the case at least, where both candor, authenticity, and strength have a currency and have a blame. I kind of say that, and then there was an article the other day, and I forgot what paper it was, either the Washington Post or Politico, that said Democrats were studying authenticity. Well, you can't study authenticity either. That's such a kind of what's wrong. You can't manufacture your authenticity. You either are who you are or you're not, and I'm comfortable with who I am.
Well, I don't know who you are, because in the course of this one interview, you said, I don't know the words to Kumbaya, meaning I'm tough, I'm relentless, I don't compromise, which is a strange point to make about yourself as you reach out to MAGA America saying, I'm willing to compromise to win your votes. So on one hand, you don't compromise, on the other hand, you do compromise. And then when you're talking about Laquan McDonald, the man who's the videotape that you buried, in the hopes that no one ever see it, you go, I have reflected, which is like your whole answer to the Laquan McDonald thing is like your rendition of Kumbaya. You were singing Kumbaya.
Isn't there like two more words to that song? Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya. And I think you know the song.
Yeah, you do know the words, Rahm. That's the other thing. There's the follow-up, Megyn Kelly. Rahm, recite the words to Kumbaya right now. You actually heard the song. I think you know the words, Rahm. And I know
5% of the song.
You're such a phony, Rahm. You're like, I am authentic. I'm the real me. As though while you present like three different versions of you in this one interview. The only group in America that you don't want to appeal to right now are the base of the Democratic Party, which are the lefties. You don't want to, are the liberals, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say who the base of the Democratic Party is anymore because they've managed to alienate so many different factions. So somehow or other, you are going to position yourself. And by the way, this whole thing as the strong man, what a weird riff that was. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kamala Harris ran as a tough prosecutor. That was her spiel. Now, the American voters rejected Kamala Harris. Get into all that. But it wasn't because she was running as a weakling. I watched the Democratic convention. I heard those speeches. It was all about, I've arrested this one, and I've prosecuted that one, and I'm going to be tough. I mean, we're going to bomb this country. We're going to bomb that country. I'm like, I don't know. Like, they just keep making stupid stuff up. And you know, by the way, you know who else was in there? Bill Clinton. God, I can't take Bill Clinton anymore, D. That's just the more I think about him. Like, you were a kid, so you were barely paying attention. But this is a guy, Bill Clinton, who stayed out of the Vietnam War. He didn't want anything to do with the Vietnam War, okay? But when he was president, he was always going to bomb this country and bomb that country just to show him that even if I didn't fight in the Vietnam War, I'm tough. So I don't think Rahm served in the military either. But he's ready to bomb this one and bomb that one. I'm just so sick of Democrats. And all you guys are doing is dancing to a song that has been written by people who don't want you to win. Megyn Kelly does not want you to win, Rahm Emanuel. She wants the Republicans to win. So when she says to you that the way for you to win is to be more like a Republican, an old Republican, by the way. Donnie's not really into bombing countries, even though he just did in terms of rhetoric. But when she says to you, that's what you need. You need to be a strong man. She's hoping you do that, and she's never going to vote for you. She's giving you advice to follow to win over her vote. Guess what, D? She's never going to vote for you. So it's the whole game. D, I know why you're so jaded on politics. You and producer Chris, both of you guys, I've talked to you so much. I know you guys. It's so funny. They produce a political talk show, and they're so jaded on politics. I know why, because these guys are all phonies. He goes, I'm the authentic one. In an interview where he was inauthentic at every opportunity.
Yeah, and there is, I feel like there were a lot of Democrats that voted Trump, so
okay, time out. That goes back. Reagan Democrats. Can we stop calling them Democrats? They're not Democrats.
It's people who voted for Obama and probably Hillary in 2016 that voted for Trump in 2024. And maybe in 2020.
They're at best they're swing voters. But I don't know many true blue Democrats who voted for. I know a lot of Democrats. Actually, they don't even call them. Nobody calls themselves a Democrat anymore except for me. I think I'm the only. Me and Jacob Kaplan are the only. You watch this, D. Come on the show. We'll interview all these people I have on. None of them call themselves Democrats anymore, except for Jacob, who's the executive director of the Cook County Democratic Party, and me, who's a sucker. And I don't even know if Rahm calls himself a Democrat anymore. I'm independent-minded. So I don't know if anybody's a Democrat anymore, D. I really don't. I can't think of. Do you know anybody who calls himself a Democrat other than me and Jacob Kaplan?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not like going around asking everybody, hey, before we hang out, you a Democrat? Cool. I'm sure they're out there, But hey, we got more audio to play here. Megyn Kelly cornered Rahm on this one.
So do you believe boys should be able to play in girls' sports?
No.
Do you believe that?
Is this the round robin?
Yeah, we'll do a quick rapid fire, and then we can move past this.
Okay. I have a son and 2 daughters, and they are physically different. And that's why when it comes to sports.
Why did all the Democrats bail off of that point? A couple came out right after the election and they said what you just said, and then they got browbeaten, and then they started to walk back.
The answers in the question. I mean, that's not ever scared me. And, I used to say this to President Clinton and President Obama. Sound is not always fury. Sometimes it's just sound. And don't assume just because somebody's screaming at you, they represent more than their own voice.
Should we be putting men in female prisons? Men claiming they're women?
No.
Well, he's taking the tough stand on that one, D. And I don't believe this issue will determine who is the Democratic nominee. And so, again, he is taking a position that will help him, he thinks, in a general election, and he still has to win the nominee. Can I just show you one thing that I've been dying to show you?
Yeah.
I've been holding off at the appropriate time. Folks, you can't see this, but I think I'm going to use this to illustrate our this week's show. Here you go, D. This sums up why Mayor Rahm's going to have a hard time getting the Democratic nomination.
Oh, Mayor 1%, that book.
Yes. Carrie Liderson's book, Mayor 1%. That's what he was known as. Oh my God, Rahm, you're such a phony.
And that's definitely a distinction or a difference between Rahm and Pritzker there. You know, Pritzker's answer on that would be definitely different, right?
Yes. By the way, Pritzker is 1%. He's a billionaire, okay? But he doesn't rule as a billionaire. Rahm's not a billionaire, and he ruled like he was protecting the interest of billionaires.
And I'm talking about the comment on the boys and girls sports and all
well,
that.
you know how hard it is to get Governor Pritzker to answer a simple yes or no question with a simple yes or no. Remember, we have so many gags on that one. Talking and dodging, JB Travolta, Sugar Ray Pritzker, so many nicknames. Yeah, he would want to avoid that. He would want to avoid that. Democrats realize that the majority of the country in polls, if you just straight up ask them that as a yes or no question, would be against where the party is. Now, if you nuance the question, like anything else, the distinction drops. But so Democrats want to avoid that, and they're going to do every kind of ducking and dodging to avoid that question. And Megyn Kelly, you know, she is a Republican. She's going to come at him with it. So, yeah, I'm curious how Pritzker would answer if he went on the Megyn Kelly show. Now, do you think Pritzker would go on the Megyn Kelly show?
Megan, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
I don't know if JB would go on the Megyn Kelly show.
Go fuck yourself, Megan.
Well, let's see if he keeps that one in.
All right. Well, we saved the best for last here on the Ben Joravsky Show.
But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador?
Yeah. So Rahm went on the Megyn Kelly show. Just so happens Hunter Biden, former President Joe Biden's son, had an interview. And boy, he just let it all loose. He mentioned Rahm Emanuel during this interview. And Megyn Kelly, God bless her, decided to ask Rahm about this. So let's hear how this all went.
You may be aware that Hunter Biden has some thoughts on you.
Mm-hmm.
Here he is.
He's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals. White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. So fucking smart Rahm Emanuel. He said, we got to understand that these people are really mad. And we got to appeal to these white voters. Rahm, the only people that fucking appealed to those fucking white voters was Joe Biden, 81 years old. And he got 81 million votes. And he did not because he appeased their fucking Trumpian sense, but because he challenged it. And he said, you can be an 81-year-old Catholic from fucking Scranton that doesn't understand it, but still has empathy for transgender people and immigrants. And then nobody said, oh, Joe Biden's going to turn us into a socialist state, no matter how much they said it. But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador?
Yeah, he's got a potty mouth. Neither you nor I have failed to utter that word in our past. I know this.
Well, we went 50 minutes here clean.
He's a big fan of it. I don't know. I kind of like Rahm fucking Emanuel. I could see that on a sign, not like a lawn sign for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was the whole thing. When the times have changed, people get to swear now. Swearing, they instead of, I think the Sun-Times still writes F -- protecting people from the word they use every day, but the New York Times uses the word, and clearly any podcaster does. Remember when who was it? Kim Fox got in trouble on our show for saying bullshit. and the Sun Times had they made a commercial about it. So yeah, Rahm, part of the reason Rahm has his reputation as a tough guy is he always drops the F-bomb. But he didn't do it on this show. He's authentic, but I guess he's not that authentic.
Well, we do have Rahm's response, so let's go ahead and play that as well.
Your thoughts on his thoughts about you?
I'm kind of feeling for Axelrod right now. He got thrown down in the gutter with me. I've got empathy. I don't. I think we're giving this more time than it's due. That's my own view.
Yeah.
I think, a little empathetic. You have a son who's blinded by his own love for, in effect, and loyalty for his father. And I get that, but not the first phone call I'm going to make for strategery.
Good to hear.
Wow, that was a low point, Megan. Sucking up to him as he ducked and dodged the essential point. And the essential point in what Hunter Biden was saying is that Rahm is two-faced, and that Rahm sucked up to Joe Biden, just like he sucked up to Blago. When he wants something from somebody, he knows how to play it up to them. He got Joe Biden to help rehabilitate his career, which was in the dumps, to put it mildly, because he concealed evidence of a murder for over a year and only released it when a judge ordered him to. And he was kicked out of Chicago, essentially. Even he knew it would be very difficult to run for re-election. And Joe Biden helped him get back on the road to mainstream America by nominating him to be ambassador to Japan. And how did he pay him back? By throwing him under the bus every chance he got. Oh, he's old. Oh, he's demented. Oh, that's why we lost. And so I don't blame Hunter Biden for being mad at Rahm. And I say this, D. I think I've been thinking a lot about this, and I say this as a guy who wanted Joe Biden to be a one-term president. That I believe Joe Biden would have done better than Kamala Harris against Donnie. As demented as he is, as incapable as he is of finishing a sentence, if he had leaned into his dementia the way Donnie leans into his, I think he would have done a better job. Would he have defeated him? I don't know. But I think he would have done a better job. I think people, I like Joe. I know Joe. Oh, he means well. He's we're not all perfect. You've heard all those kinds of defenses. And you and I would have been having a field day playing Joe Biden bits.
I got to say, that was the best defense, what Hunter Biden was saying, the best defense of Joe Biden I've heard, and that I never heard during the election. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. And I'm frustrated too. Like I said, Joe Biden bailed out Chicago, Illinois, and never heard anybody thank him. You know what I'm saying? You never heard anybody, oh, thank you, Joe, for the money you kicked our way. It's like it became popular to bash him. So everybody joined in. So yeah, I'm kind of, there's a part of me that's very sympathetic to Hunter Biden on that issue, despite all the differences I have on policy, particularly Middle East policy with Joe Biden. But I'm with Hunter Biden on that one. And yeah, you I don't know if you said this on the mic, but Dennis has said to me several times, Hunter Biden should have a podcast. He could be the left's version of Joe Rogan. Yeah,
they're looking for the left version of Joe Rogan. That's it right there.
Right there, man.
That was like the same vibe I get when I watch some Joe Rogan. Like, oh my God, they're cursing, they're being honest, and it's unfiltered. Like that's kind of the Joe Rogan appeal, right?
And they light up, by the way, they treat the studio like it's a CTA subway car. They light up cigarettes, cigars, reefer.
Dude,
so could you imagine Joe Rogan on a CTA train lighting up a cigar? So anyway, I'm with you. Hunter Biden for president.
So there you are, everybody. That is your what a week. We had to really take the deep dive on that Megyn Kelly interview. Remember, you can download previous Ben Joravsky shows and so much more. TheBenJoravskyShow.com. JORAV as in victory, SKY. Get previous Ben Joravsky shows. You can join the book club, but most importantly, check out the columns. TheBenJoravskyShow.com. Donate some money, as much as you can. It'd be greatly appreciated. And no show next week. Oh no, we are going to do a show next week, aren't we? Because you're going to be out of town.
Yeah,
right
the next week. Yeah.
Next week. So no show next week.
Yeah. I'm all mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. Between the two of us, the doctor and I will figure it all out.
2 words, buddy. SummerSlam. Let's go.
Anyway, Dr. D, thank you very much. He's the pride and joy of Godfrey, Illinois. Don't say he's from Alton. He's the best in the business. I know every single one of you, Rahm, Megyn Kelly, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they all agree with me. Hey, Dr. D, give yourself a raise. Take it out of petty cash. Peace and love, everybody.
But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador?